So far, so good this morning for us, but we do have some rain on the way. Could see up to about a half an inch or so. We'll talk about when it gets here and walk through Futurecast coming up.
Department shutdown. Today, President Trump is expected to sign an executive order calling for the end of the Department of Education. The programs, White House officials say, will be spared.
$7 million short. Durham schools leaders meet today to consider their budget deficit. The changes they could make today that could affect your child's school experience.
And right to carry. The rule changes state lawmakers may approve today that would allow most adults to have a concealed weapon without a permit. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock on your Thursday. Spring has officially sprung at 5:01 this morning, so we're glad to be the first to tell you happy spring. Welcome to your Thursday. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your first day of spring here. It is also a WRAL weather alert day because spring showers are on the way. And Anthony Baglione is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with a look at that line approaching.
Yeah, it's certainly fitting timing with spring heading in for us this morning. But there's our cold front that's going to be here later on today. And so that's what we're tracking here as far as our next weather maker is concerned. This morning, we're quiet. If you do want to head out with the umbrella, I would recommend it just because this is going to be here this evening. But for right now, we're looking good to go. Let's talk about when this gets here, plan this all out for you. 6 o'clock in the morning. Again, we're nice and quiet. We'll go for a general mix of clouds and clear skies over the next couple of hours. The first half of the day looks just fine. But you notice that rain thins out just a little bit. And then right as it gets closer to us, just in time for, let's say, 3 o'clock for our western counties. Then as we head through the rest of our evening commute, there's 5 o'clock. It gets a little bit heavier just over top of most of us and then pushes off to the east into this evening. There's 8 o'clock this evening with the backside of this pushing through by that point. Again, right in that evening commute time frame, the timing on this is going to be kind of what's the inconvenient part, not necessarily a severe risk, which we are not under right now. It's 60 degrees. That temperature has ticked up a degree there around the triangle. 49, though, in Rocky Mount, 54 in Roxborough. A pretty wide range for us as far as temperatures are concerned this morning. We should, though, hit a high of about 72 this afternoon. Again, plan for that rain. The first half of the day, though, is looking just fine. Michelle?
All right. Thanks, Anthony. And things looking good and clear weather-wise for your journey into work this morning. This is a live look. I-40 at Wade Avenue. This is always very busy. Not seeing any delays here. Just a lot of people on the roads this morning going to and from work. Looking at our area as a whole, we are not seeing any delays this morning. I was tracking a crash up by 540 and Durant Road. I'm going to show you exactly where that was. This has since cleared. You can see the icon is not there anymore. So that is some good news. Elsewhere in the area, things looking good. Up in Durham, all of the major routes there are clear. We are not seeing any delays this morning so far, which is very good news. If you are in the car, listen to us on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Today, President Donald Trump plans to sign an executive order calling for the Department of Education to be shut down. Trump has called the Department of Education wasteful and says it is polluted with liberal ideology. A senior administration official says the executive order will not stop funding for Title I, student loans, and students with disabilities. A fact sheet obtained by NBC News says the order will direct that programs or activities receiving any remaining Department of Education funds will not advance DEI or gender ideology. Fully dismantling the department would require an act of Congress.
A different education conversation here locally today. Durham school leaders will work to find solutions to their budget deficit. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us from Durham Public Schools headquarters this morning. Kelsey, the school system is about $7 million short as it looks ahead to next school year, and parents are asking how this will affect their kids.
Yes, Jeff, and we've been staying on top of this budget deficit issue for months now. Today, parents may be able to get some answers about all of this after school leaders meet here at the school board headquarters. Now, we reported that there was a $6.9 million budget deficit back in January. That's much less than the original estimate, $34 million. The district saved millions by cutting 15% of each department's budget at the start of the year. But where is this deficit coming from? School leaders say multiple places. Unbudgeted staff positions, charter school funding, child nutrition costs, and master's pay for teachers. DPS started a series called Dollars and Decisions. That way parents can be informed about the budgeting process process. School leaders were supposed to review any feedback ahead of today's budget hearing that's scheduled for tonight at 5:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Here's a live look at the legislative building in downtown Raleigh. Today, the state Senate could vote on legislation that would make it easier to carry a concealed weapon in North Carolina. WRAL's Eric Miller is live outside the legislative building this morning. And Eric, this would allow most adults to carry without a permit.
Yeah, Renee, it would. There are actually a couple of bills here, one working its way through the state house, the other working its way through the state senate, but they both do essentially the same thing. Right now, you have to have a permit to carry concealed in North Carolina, and to get it, you have to pay an $80 fee. You've got to take a couple of tests and sit through at least 8 hours of classes. You also have to be at least 21 years or older. These two bills would essentially roll back all of those requirements and make it so most adults in North Carolina over the age of 18 can carry a concealed weapon. Now, these bills do have the General Assembly sharply divided. Republicans in favor, Democrats opposed. Take a listen to some of the debate we were hearing yesterday.
We also know that an armed citizen has the ability to defend themselves and their families, and that's what this is about. That's what constitutional carry is about.
When you remove or loosen those restrictions for those who have firearms or can acquire them, all you have done is make communities less safe.
Now we're looking for a vote on the Senate's version of the bill in the full Senate later today. We'll be watching closely to see what happens there. The House version, that's still tied up in some committees. We'll be watching to see how that advances next week. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
And we will stay on top of any vote that is made in the state Senate today and look for updates on WRAL News from 4 to 7:30 this evening.
New this morning, a science teacher at Jordan High School is due in court today on charges of distributing child sexual abuse material online. Court documents show 30-year-old Miguel Tirado is charged with 10 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. He's accused of distributing the videos online last September. Durham Public Schools confirmed Tirado was hired as a teacher at Jordan High School last year. He was arrested off campus, and Jordan High's principal says the school is working quickly to find a substitute teacher.
Crews have been working all night to put out hot spots after this large fire in Franklinton. The fire at Capital Auto Recycling spread quickly, forcing authorities to shut down US 1. That road is back open this morning. The fire started at the car recycling facility and spread into the nearby woods. More than a dozen local fire departments responded. NC Forestry created a fire line to contain the flames. At last report, it's now more than 95% contained. No injuries have been reported.
A driver who hit and killed a person near Fayetteville is not expected to face charges. The crash happened just before 9 last night on NC 24 near North Plymouth Street. State Highway Patrol says the woman who was hit was walking in traffic with no reflective material on. She died at the scene. The road reopened about 90 minutes after the crash.
Today, Governor Josh Stein and leaders in the General Assembly plan to start working on the next aid package to help communities recovering from Helene. The governor signed a $500 million aid package into law last night. The money will help repair homes and private roads, pay farmers for lost crops, and all nearly 6 months after the devastation brought by Helene. This bill brings the total to more than $1.5 billion set aside by the state for Helene relief.
Capitol Boulevard between I-540 and the Franklin County line may one day become a toll road. The Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization received results of a state toll authority study yesterday. It suggests turning the road into a toll road and beginning upgrades in 2027. The work would take about 6 years. A spokesperson from that group says this would ultimately ease traffic congestion by removing stoplights and creating highway interchanges. The organization will ask for public input for 30 days before making a decision in May.
At least 58 people are dead in new strikes by Israel on Gaza overnight. The Israeli military says it launched targeted ground activities in Gaza yesterday, a day after it resumed airstrikes. Israel accused Hamas of repeatedly refusing to release hostages and rejecting offers from mediators. Hamas called the latest offensive a new and dangerous breach of the ceasefire agreement. This morning, crews will be back on the Tar River to look for a 7-year-old who disappeared. This will be the 4th day of their search. Crews with cadaver dogs searched the area yesterday. The boy fell into the river Monday afternoon and didn't resurface. Rescuers have been using boats and drones to try to find him.
Fill out those brackets before noon today, and we now know who Duke will play in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Mount St. Mary's beat American University 83-72 in their first 4 game last night in Dayton, Ohio. So their reward is squaring off with top seed Duke tomorrow at the Lenovo Center. Tip-off for that game is scheduled for 2:50 in the afternoon. And Duke freshman superstar Cooper Flagg is going into that game with a big new honor. He's been unanimously named a first-team All-American by the Associated Press. He led Duke in 5 statistical categories this year, and he is widely expected to be named National Player of the Year.
6:10 now. Pressure from the top. The CEO of Amtrak is stepping down. Why he's moving aside as ridership numbers rebound.
Armed with an axe, a man is dead after a confrontation with Pinehurst police. How officers say he got that weapon and then charged at them.
And it is officially spring as of 5:01 this morning. Our spring equinox occurred. We do have some rain, though, on the way for the first day of spring. We'll talk about when it gets here coming up.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
As we get a current check here on our temperatures this morning, it's very mild. We're at 60 degrees around the triangle. That is about our actual average high temperature for this time of the year, and it is, of course, very early in the morning. We're at 54 in Roxborough, 54 in Fayetteville. A little bit cooler air for our eastern counties in the upper 40s from South Hill to Goldsboro. Maybe just a light jacket there, but all in all, looking pretty good to start our Thursday. We go through today. Temperatures are still going to be very comfortable, if not warm, this afternoon. 72 comes in right about 3 o'clock, but then we also have some rain chances to go along with those warmer temperatures out ahead of a cold front. They should not get here until about 2 to 3 o'clock for our western counties, and then it pushes across most of our viewing areas. We head into that wet evening commute on the way.
And taking a look at our roads this morning, all of our major routes looking good. I am tracking one crash just south of Wendell and Nightdale. They're calling this a serious crash here, Smithfield Road near Pritchard Road. Right now, I'm not seeing any major backups from this, but I definitely will keep my eye on that to see what comes of that crash. Good morning to all of you in our southern communities, Fayetteville, Hope Mills, things looking good. All of our major routes clear. We'll take a look at what's coming up in Durham in the next 7 minutes, Jeff.
All right, thanks, Michelle. This was some shocking news out of Moore County. 2 Pinehurst police officers are on mandatory administrative leave after shooting and killing a man who they say charged at them with an axe. This all happened in Pinehurst on Remington Lane, and that was 8 o'clock yesterday morning when police say someone reported a suspicious person. And when officers got there, they noticed smoke and fire coming from a home. Once they got inside, a man took an axe from firefighters and charged at police. 2 officers shot and killed that man, and the SBI is now investigating.
New this morning, Israel's military says it intercepted a missile launched by Houthi rebels in Yemen. The Houthis say the missile targeted the airport in Tel Aviv. Video posted on social media shows people taking cover in the airport as sirens sounded. Houthis say they fired the missile in support of Palestinians and in response to the new attacks on Gaza. That missile launch came hours after new strikes by the U.S. on Houthi targets in Yemen. Houthis say 7 women and 2 children were hurt in the bombardment. In a post to Truth Social yesterday, President Trump vowed the Houthis would be completely annihilated.
Time is 6:16 here in the WRAL Live Center with a breaking update within the past 5 minutes. This video just dropped on NBC's online feeds here. This is showing Joshua Reeby, the person who is believed to be the last to see that University of Pittsburgh student in the Dominican Republic. And this is him before he leaves that island there. He was at an airport. He's been back in the U.S. since about yesterday, but this again shows him before he leaves on that flight there. He says that police forced him to stay in the Dominican Republic for 2 weeks. That's where Sudiksha Kananki disappeared. Investigators have been very clear, though, that Reeby is a person of interest and not a suspect. But Kananki's parents say that they give up hope that their daughter is alive and believe that she is drowned. Investigators have also communicated the same thing, believing that she also has drowned.
Chris, thanks for that update. So terrible for that family. A man in Durham has died after police say the car he was in was hit by a stolen vehicle. Video taken from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows two badly damaged cars on Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard. Officers were responding to reports of vehicle break-ins around 5:30 yesterday morning. Police say a stolen Kia Soul sped off and ran a red light and hit that other car. 3 people in the stolen car were taken to the hospital along with 2 people in the other car. 53-year-old Jermaine Clements, who was a passenger in the car that was hit, died. There are charges pending in this case.
The CEO of Amtrak is stepping down. Stephen Gardner says he is leaving that role so the corporation can keep the full faith and confidence of this administration. Amtrak said in December that in 2024, ridership topped 2019 pre-COVID levels for the first time. Congress approved nearly $2.5 billion for Amtrak through September in annual funding this year. Elon Musk said earlier this month he thought Amtrak should be privatized.
Zebulon will celebrate this first day of spring with the grand opening of a new dog park today. It's an all-new addition to Pilot Lions Park. You'll find it on 50 Pilot Bypass Road across from the Pilot Fire Department. The new dog park officially opens to the public at 11 a.m.
People in Iowa are facing dangerous road conditions after a winter storm. This is video from Sioux City, where snow fell heavily at times yesterday. More than a foot of snow fell in some of the northern parts of Iowa. Really feel for the Midwestern states there where they're still dealing with winter. They did not get the spring memo, and that's why we love North Carolina, where we're pretty much guaranteed rain in March.
It's coming in fitting time frame for our 501 spring start this morning, Renee. Yeah, we have that front that's going to be here in the next couple of hours, or really through this afternoon. It will make it feel like spring for sure. So if you need to get anything done, steer it toward the first half of the day before that rain gets here later on this afternoon. Here's where that front is, though. Again, it's in western North Carolina. They have wind advisories outlined into tonight for the mountains. They could see gusts up to about 60 miles an hour. The good thing, though, at the moment with this setup, we are not under a severe risk from the Storm Prediction Center. We're under what they call their general thunderstorms risk, which is what you think of. You walk outside, it's just kind of that regular springtime activity. We have to, as far as severe thunderstorms are concerned, get hail that's an inch or greater. We have to get a tornado, or we have to get 58 mile per hour or greater winds. We're not going to see any of that with these cells, which is good. Here's Futurecast, though. We put this into motion the next couple of hours. Again, the first half of the day is fine. Some spotty showers into the western parts of our state by the time we get close to lunchtime. This does not get to our viewing area, though, as we head probably, let's say, 2 to 3 o'clock is when it starts to approach our western counties. The evening commute, though, look at 5 o'clock. It is going to be wet. I do think we're going to start to see some ponding on the roads. Make sure to take it a little bit slower for that evening commute because that's going to definitely be affected. It gets out of here fast, though. 8 o'clock, we're looking a whole lot better. This is not going to be a lingering system where we have multiple days of rain or anything like that, but it's bringing much needed rainfall. We're still under drought across the state. Could see about 1/4 inch or so, maybe up to 1/2 inch. Again, not a big rainmaker, but any little bit helps for us with that drought situation. We're at 60, though, currently in the Triangle. Temperatures are very mild, if not warm, for this morning for most of us. I know there's a couple chilly spots. Rocky Mount waking up there thinking, oh, I need the coat. 48 in Goldsboro. It will start to warm up, though. All of us looking at temperatures in the low to mid 70s this afternoon. Once that front comes through, though, we drop to 63 tomorrow. The weekend looks really nice. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, some sunshine each day, and then our next chance of some rain on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday also looking really good. So, Michelle, after the system that we have for us again today, we start to quiet down. The weekend looks great.
Looking forward to that. All right, thanks, Anthony. Taking a look at your roads this morning. I told you I would show you Durham. Here it is. This is US 70 at Cheek Road. It's a busy commute this morning, but we are not seeing any delays, which is some good news for this time of the morning. You can see all of our major routes in Durham, Chapel Hill, and Hillsborough looking good. I am tracking one crash so far this morning. If you take a look at the big picture, you see it down here. It's just south of Knightdale and Wendell. This is happening Smithfield Road near Pritchard Road. They are calling this a serious crash, so I'm going to keep my eye on that and see if anything comes of that crash. But things looking good as far as your commute, not seeing any delays on I-40 so far this morning.
Thanks, Michelle. Caught after the crime, police arrest 2 more people after a home break-in is captured on camera. The charges they're facing this morning.
Explicit content linked to a Raleigh middle school. The warning to parents after a pornographic video was shared on social media.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Today in What's Trending, country stars celebrate 100 years of the Grand Ole Opry.
And they paid tribute to the legendary Dolly Parton at the show. Dozens of stars sang "I Will Always Love You" to close the show. In another touching moment, Carrie Underwood sang a tribute to Randy Travis and met him in the crowd for the last word of his song, "Forever and Ever, Amen." Beautiful. Standing ovation there.
Oh, and
Tears in people's eyes.
There was not a dry eye in the house for that. He's wheelchair bound after a 2013 stroke that he had to learn how to walk, which he did on the red carpet there last night. So it's just been a long road to recovery, and even just talking is great for him.
But for him to be there, obviously, for that celebration, everybody, he was the VIP for sure.
Super. First trailer for the 6th season of The Handmaid's Tale declares the rebellion is here.
Afraid of them. Now it's time for them to be afraid of us.
Uh-oh. Hulu will release the first 3 episodes April 8th.
Highly acclaimed series based on the Margaret Atwood novel, The Handmaid's Tale. And big fan base for that. A new Lego convention is coming to our area this fall. The Fayetteville Brick Convention will be held at Crown Complex September 28th and 29th. Professional Lego artists from all across the country will come and display their creations and meet with fans. Tickets are now on sale. Durham school leaders meet today to consider the budget deficit, the changes they make that would affect your child's schooling.
And it is officially spring for us. That started at 5:01 this morning. It is going to come along, though, with some showers on the way for this afternoon. We'll talk about the timing on Futurecast coming up.
And loosening restrictions, the rule changes state lawmakers may approve today that would make it easier for more adults to carry a concealed weapon.